Hello, everybody. I'm Sasha Segan from PC Mag, and this is Stephen Winkleman, and we are here with a battle of the tiny trackers, AirTag versus Tile. And now this could become a very short video, depending on how Stephen answers this question. But Stephen, is there any reason for anyone who has an iPhone to get anything other than an AirTag ever?
Mm, if everyone in your family has an iPhone, no, I don't think so. But if you have family members who use like Android and things like that, then Tile, you can use like family sharing with Tile. So that would be the only time I could see it really being useful.
So I'm basically laying down the fact that AirTag is very much identified with the Apple ecosystem, and Tile is very much identified now that AirTag exists with the Android ecosystem. How are they different in terms of features? Are Apple people getting better stuff than Android people in this case?
For the most part, yeah. I mean, I think the thing with AirTag, which Apple had a bit of an unfair advantage of, at least according to Tile, is that it uses ultra wideband, so you get much better location access. And they didn't open that up to developers until right before iOS 15 came out. So we're just starting to see other UWB products that work with Find My and ultra wideband. So Tile's sort of playing catch up there, and I know they have a Tile coming out next year that will be a UWB Tile. Also, you get more features with. You don't get more features, but there's more value with the AirTag. So it'll like the second you leave, it'll be like, because I just have one stuck on my backpack. The second I leave, it'll be like, you left your backpack behind when I go to the garage to get my car. And for Tile, you have to pay for that. And it's, I think it's $30 a year basically. But it also adds like 30 days of location tracking and things like that as well. And that's the biggest difference is the ultra wideband versus Bluetooth and the Bluetooth network.
Now, I think a lot of people probably aren't familiar with ultra wideband. It sounds like something that Verizon sells for 5G. What is it in this case? What does it get you?
So ultra wideband is basically just a different way of connecting. I'm not going to go like into this tech specifics of it. It's more accurate. It uses a different frequency, and it can penetrate a lot better. So you have an added benefit of it's better at locations. Tile claims that some of theirs get up to 400 feet. I have the Tile wallet right now. If I open it on my phone, it'll show that it's not in range. So it's really persnickety. Bluetooth is not as good. It doesn't work well if there's like walls, or if you have like, I have two Wi-Fi networks in my apartment. One of those can knock it off. There's all kinds of weird things that'll knock it out of whack. And you don't really have those problems with AirTags.
Now, one of the pluses for Tile that you were just showing right now is that Tiles come in a lot of different sizes and shapes, whereas there's really just one look for an AirTag. Can you show all the different sizes and shapes of Tiles?
Yeah, so this is the Pro. It's the only one that has a replaceable battery now. It has a metal frame, so like this will not break. I mean, like I've had one of these on my keychain for years, and it's never broken. This is the sticker. It has an adhesive back. It attaches to your like remote or something in your house. I wouldn't really use it on anything expensive because the range isn't great. This is the Mate. It's basically the same as the Pro, except it's cheaper, but the battery is non-replaceable. And this is the Wallet, which is one of the most, I think it's $34.99, so it's one of the most expensive ones. But it slides into, a bag or a wallet. One other benefit that Tile has that Apple doesn't, is that it will help you find your phone. So if you lose your phone, you can push the Tile button and they'll locate your phone for you if it's in range. You don't really have that with Apple, but you can just do Find My on any Apple device. And so
now, how about remote tracking? When I tested Tiles ages ago, they were really, really bad at finding out if where anything was outside your house. But AirTag seemed kind of magically good.
Yeah, so I tested so we've done them twice this year because they updated a couple weeks ago. The first batch I tested in a really busy um, mixed use lobby that had like a bar and a restaurant and apartments, and it said there were 10,000 people within a couple miles. I think it took 8 hours to find some of them, and the AirTags were usually found within 8 to 10 minutes tops. This time I tested them in my building, which is also pretty busy, and I think there were 9,000 people around. And these got a little better. Like they were 2 to 3 hours on average, but still, I mean, usually by the time I got in the elevator, this would be located by somebody. So, and I think that has a lot to say because it's built into your iPhone. I mean, like Find My is built in. With Tile, if you don't set it up right or you don't have your settings proper, it just doesn't work. I mean, like it won't work properly. So that's the big advantage Apple has too, is that it has a built-in ecosystem that not only allows devices that work with AirTag to find it, but basically any Apple device. So like your Apple Watch, if it comes in close, or your iMac, I mean, anything. So
Now, how about Samsung Smart Tags? We don't usually seem to include those in these comparisons.
I mean, I don't know. That's a hard one. I have one on my keychain just because I've never taken it off. It only works with Galaxy devices, and it's not. They have an ultra wideband one. We never tested it, but it just never really caught on. And it's not. I think the thing for at least for me, the thing that makes these so attractive is that they can be impulse purchases. So, like if you're like, oh, geez, I've like lost my remote again, you can go to the Apple store and pick one of these up or have it delivered in 2 hours for like $9. You know what I mean? Or you can go to Target and get tiles. So, I mean, you don't have that simplicity with Samsung where they're just pretty much everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe that's why they haven't picked up as well. Plus, they're limited to Galaxy devices.
Now, I guess as a final question, a lot of people are worried about being tracked by these devices secretly or against their will. And how do the AirTag and the Tile deal with that, or do they deal with it at all?
I think that's a really interesting question, and I'm actually working on another story about that. I hope Tile will become a little more proactive. Now they were purchased by, I can't remember the name of the company. I know you know.
Life 360.
Yeah, so I'm hoping they become a little more proactive. Right now, they're promising a way for you to search for trackers next year with their app, but you'd have
But they don't have one now.
No, and you'd have to download their app, which basically makes you part of their network in order to search for trackers in your house. And like I said, I can be this close to this and it doesn't work sometimes. So with Apple, originally it was 3 days that you would get start getting like little chirps if you left it behind or if it was traveling with you and it wasn't assigned to you. They switched it to 8 to 24 hours. It's sort of variable now. I can tell you from experience when I was testing the Pixels and I turned my iPhone off, it's closer to the 8 hour mark that it starts going off. Usually if it's not assigned to something, like when I had my iPhone completely away, it would go off right around 8 hours. If it was, or when it was traveling with me, when it was just not with me, and when it was at my house, it goes off around 11 hours because that still happens when I go out of town.
So listen for weird beeps, like there's no battery in your smoke alarm.
Yeah, and it's not super loud. I'll let you hear the differences. That's the other thing is the Apple's the AirTag sounds much more pleasing than Tile.
It really does remind me of when my smoke alarm is low on battery.
Yeah, and it'll do the over and over again if you're not attached to it. And then Tile is
okay.
I found my phone. But yeah, it's much more. It's not as charming at all. So
okay, so great. So it sounds like AirTag is kind of the no-brainer for people with iPhones, and if you don't have an iPhone, then you can't get an AirTag.
Yeah, and I think the Tile is a good second runner-up. I would definitely wait until their ultra wideband one comes out, and see what happens with Life 360 because have a feeling that may be a nice change, because the other thing is Tiles app interface is not great. And hopefully someone with a little more money can fix that.
I know I have 4 Tiles myself, and struggling with the app interface and with the reliability of the Bluetooth connection is a constant struggle.
Yeah, and just for example, like I sent you one when we were doing some stuff a couple months ago, right before they announced these, and I completely forgot. And then when we were talking about tracking features, I looked on my phone one day and I saw one at your house, and I texted you and said, "Do you live by here?" And you're like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, okay," because that tile. So I had to reassign it to you.
You stalked me.
Yeah, I mean that's not like that. That doesn't make me feel great, because what happens if I lose this and someone's it's not the best stuff. So.
Okay, well, thanks a lot, Stephen. Our reviews of the AirTag and of the full Tile lineup are, of course, up on PCMag.com. And thank you all for watching.
Thanks.